guys, it's Cece, and today is a very special day because today, of course, is Top 5 Wednesday. So today's Top 5 Wednesday is of course a super spooky Top 5 Wednesday because, as you may know, just a few days from now, it will be the most important holiday of the year, Halloween, my favorite. And so of course Top 5 Wednesday this week was going to have to be about Halloween and the spookiness that comes from Halloween. So of course, today's list is our top 5 Halloween recommendations, and I am so excited to be giving them to you. Before I get to that, of course a note, Top 5 Wednesday was created by Lainey at Ginger Reads Lainey, and you can go and check her out below, along with the Goodreads group for Top 5 Wednesday, so that you too could become a Top 5 Wednesday-er. But, with that out of the way, we can now discuss the most amazingly creepy books that I've read, and some perfect books that you can read this year. You have 3 days to read them for Halloween. Coming in at number 5. For number 5, I wanted to go with the classic, and that is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Of course, Frankenstein is an important work of fiction. It marked the beginning of a genre. It was written on a creepy night as part of a competition between Mary Shelley and 2 other writers. And she, of course, has, I believe, the horror story that has been remembered the best over the years since this little competition. Frankenstein is creepy, but it's also a really important book in terms of looking at human nature and all of that jazz. Frankenstein is, of course, an important classic book that I highly recommend that you read on Halloween. Coming in at number 4. For number 4, I have chosen one of my absolute favorite books ever, and that is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies by Seth Grahame-Smith, and of course by Jane Austen. You may have heard about this book here around on BookTube. It's been out for a few years, and now we are finally getting a movie adaptation. The trailer looks awesome. I'm really hoping for good things. It has a really good cast, it has some cool music, and it definitely looks like the kind of movie that I was hoping it would be. But Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is, of course, the traditional tale of Pride and Prejudice, the love story between Elizabeth and Darcy. Only in this version, Elizabeth and her sisters are all famous zombie slayers. Do you even need more information than that? This is a fantastic book, hilarious, fun, and a perfect creepy read. Coming in at number 3. For number 3, I have chosen Horns by Joe Hill. If you don't know who Joe Hill is Stephen King's son. So of course when I picked up Horns, I was expecting big things. It's Stephen King's son. I hope he can live up to some of the great books that I have read by his dad. And Horns, of course, did. Horns is an excellent book, totally creepy, and one of those books that got so kind of disturbing and in my head to points that I had to put it down and walk around the rooms a couple of times before I could come back and read it again. It definitely gets in your head, it'll definitely freak you out, and it is definitely creepy. Coming in at number 2. For number 2, I have chosen my personal favorite horror book, and that is Phantoms by Dean Koontz. I read this book this summer. It is fantastic. It is creepy. It will keep you up at night, and it is very, very engrossing. Phantoms is the story of a small town, and this girl and her sister are coming back to this small town where they both live, but when they arrive, the entire town is mysteriously empty. Or in some cases, the people that aren't gone have turned up as horrifying corpses with expressions of terror frozen forever on their faces. And they are completely freaked out, and they call some outside help, and a group of people has to try to solve the mystery of what happened in this town and why everyone is dead. So creepy, definitely kept me up at night, definitely kept me reading, so I highly recommend it. And finally, the very spookiest read that I shall recommend, coming in at number 1. For number 1, I have chosen another book that I read this summer, and that is The Merciless by Danielle Vega. This is a YA horror, which I know might turn some people off. How can young adult do horror? But I promise you, it's possible. The Merciless is totally creepy. It definitely follows along the trails of gore and definitely kind of satanic lines. That's the type of horror that this book is. It completely creeped me out. There were moments I was holding the book away from me as I read it, but also an important thing, since I'm giving you these recommendations only 3 days before Halloween, I read this book in one sitting. Sat down, read it in a couple of hours, finished it. It is super quick, so that is why this book is my most highly recommended book for Halloween. You have time to go pick it up, you have time to read it, and you have time to be freaked out for a little bit afterwards. This book is excellently creepy, and I highly, highly recommend that you go and pick it up. Plus, it's gonna look beautiful on your shelf. This book is gorgeous. I know I don't have it with me, but it's gorgeous. Well guys, there you go. Those are my Halloween recommendations. I hope that you enjoy them. In the comments below, let me know what are some of your favorite books to read on Halloween. And I also have another request for you. I don't have a lot here to read horror-wise. I really just have the book that I am currently reading, which I probably won't be reading anymore by the time this video is posted. But I still want to be able to read some creepy stories before Halloween, so in the comments below, let me know some of your favorite creepy short stories that I can look up and find and read on my favorite holiday of the year. Thank you guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in another video very soon. Happy Halloween!